they can't hear out there, can they? Are the people out in the ethers hearing me? Okay. Okay, thank you. That the choir has
Greetings, beloved ones, and welcome to your spiritual experience at Unity of Washington, D.C. As is our practice, a member of our prayer ministry will be holding us in prayer during the entire service. You are invited to join in with the prayer ministry every Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. for the prayer call. You can submit prayer requests and requests for spiritual counseling online, or call the office and the appropriate ministry will be notified of your request. Divine Connections with Reverend Sylvia continues on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock p.m. The new member class and orientation starts tomorrow, Monday, October 25th through Thursday, October 28th at 6:30 p.m. If you want to become a member of our wonderful spiritual community, or you are new to Unity and just want to know more about it, this is the class for you. On Sunday, November 7th at 1 o'clock p.m., the Youth Education Department is planning a faith walk at the National Arboretum. Please meet at the Administration Building at 12:45, and the walk will begin by 1:15. Goodie bags will be provided. The Faith Walk is open to all congregants and friends of Unity of Washington, D.C. A very special occasion is coming up in November. We will be celebrating the 30th anniversary of our very own senior minister, Reverend Sylvia E. Sumter. So mark your calendars for November 12th, 13th, and 14th, as to begin with a Zoom celebration on Friday evening, November 12th at 7 o'clock p.m., followed on Saturday afternoon, November 13th at 4 o'clock p.m., with a live stream mini concert highlighting some of the Rev's favorite soloists, musicians, and the Richard Payne Trio. And we conclude with a spirit-filled special Sunday service on November 14th at 11 o'clock a.m. Please see our website and emails for connection information. We may not be meeting in person. However, as we've said before, church is not just a building, we're a spiritual community. And with that said, we want to honor all of you with a virtual Family and Friends Day and the honoring of our seniors. Our seniors are those in the congregation who are 80 years young plus. We encourage you to invite your family members, friends, and those seniors in our spiritual community to join with us for our virtual service on Sunday, November 21st at 11 o'clock a.m. As an exciting part of this special service, we'd like to do a photo showcase. So please submit one photo, just one, please, of you, a family or friend, or one of our seniors. Your generous support of our Adopt a Family program has been a rewarding and heartwarming way to help some of the area's neediest families. Although COVID-19 may be subsiding, its effects are far from over. As was done in past years, with your support, we can restore hope to those families to make holiday wishes come true. Our 2021 Adopt a Family program will be run similar to the last year. Instead of wrapped toys and gifts, the organizations we work with are requesting monetary donations to ensure that the families will have the flexibility to celebrate Christmas in a meaningful way. To that end, our goal is to collect $10,000 to support the families we have adopted. The money will be used to purchase gift cards that will cover not only toys and other gifts, but also for the purchase of grocery store items. 19 years of holiday cheer. Once again this year, Unity of Washington, D.C. is excited to support those seniors in our community during the holiday season. Our Holiday Cheer for Seniors campaign serves approximately 250 low-income seniors who come to us through Everyone Home DC and AARP's Legal Counsel for the Elderly. In the past, congregants came together on Christmas Eve to prepare meals for local seniors. However, due to the health risks that continue to linger from COVID-19 and any variants, like last year, we are requesting donations of money for the purchase of grocery store cards. The gift cards will be mailed along with a holiday card from Unity of Washington, D.C. to arrive prior to Christmas. Please see our website and emails for ways to make a financial contribution. We ask that you sign on early at 10:50 a.m. to our service each Sunday so that you can get an overview of all of our upcoming events. Of course, you can read the emails we send out to you during the week or check out our website at unityofwashingtondc.org to obtain connection links and additional information about our classes, events, and ways to donate. Now take a breath and be open to receive an inspirational message from our beloved Senior Minister, Reverend Sylvia Sumter.
Unity of Washington, D.C.'s Sanctuary Choir. It was a pre-recorded session from a while back, but beautiful to hear the voices and to feel the energy and spirit that they bring and add to this ministry. And of course, I love the Richard Payne trio with Rudy Roderick and Richard. And I think you doing, was that Stevie Wonder's Higher Ground? I love that, Stevie Wonder's Higher Ground, because that is what we are all seeking and that we are all about, is moving into higher ground, higher consciousness, a higher way of being and living and expressing. So I'm grateful and delighted to be here with you this morning and to have you with us, for we are truly connected with one another. Distance, space, time can bring no separation, for we are one in spirit. One in spirit. So thank you for lending your energy and your light to this worship experience, to this divine gathering of souls, of like-minded souls who are truly willing to stand up and help others to reach higher ground. This is a special day because I want to acknowledge the energy and the work of two beloved souls, the commitment of two souls who sought out on a path and a journey to become a licensed unity teacher. Now, this is no small feat because it signifies years of dedication to study, to be tested, to teach, so that they could actually be a light bearer for the unity movement and working within this ministry as a licensed unity teacher. So I want to call up, we have two that we are acknowledging this morning. And I will say the first person is not able to be here with us, but I want to acknowledge her because she's always, again, with us in spirit. But Miss Teresa Rose Coleman. And she has successfully fulfilled all the requirements, as therefore now recognized by the Board of Trustees as a licensed unity teacher. The use of the title of licensed unity teacher is granted only to those who are affiliated with a ministry recognized by unity and who abide by the ethics and standards of this association. And this was given on this day, the 26th of August, 2021. So we want to acknowledge Teresa Rose Coleman. But we do have our second licensed unity teacher. Come on up, Mr. Larry Darnell Davis. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now let me tell you, Larry you've been with this church probably, I'd say a good 15 to 20 years or so. That's a long time. He is dedicated, he is committed, he is reliable, and most of all, he is a truth student, committed to taking these teachings and applying them to his life so that he's living a fulfilled life, a conscious life, which is what we're going to be talking about. So I want to welcome you, and each of them have a card, but I want to also take this time to acknowledge your years. How long has it taken you?
11 years.
11 years. 11 years. That's commitment. That's commitment to a vision and to a purpose. And I'm just loving it. And I'm sure that Teresa also dedicated herself, because you have to go out to the village, you have to study, you have to teach, you read. So it's no small feat. But I want to take this time to not only acknowledge your spirit, because I love your spirit. You have a giving spirit, a loving spirit, a willing spirit, a heart truly that is pure and good. And I'm honored to have you in this ministry now as a licensed unity teacher, to stand with and amongst me and the other licensed unity teachers to serve first God, right, and then his people.
Absolutely.
So it is my great honor to pin you with the pin. I don't want to ruin your...
It's okay.
now hereby consecrated as a licensed Unity teacher under the guidance and leadership of the Holy Spirit. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees and this wonderful congregation and myself, I welcome you as this wonderful licensed Unity teacher. May you be well with you. Thank you. Here is your certificate. And I think you have a card now that makes it official.
Thank you.
I have to sign that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Excellent. All right, so we give love. Thank you all. Yes. What a wonderful opportunity to recognize the commitment of someone. You know, spiritual work, it takes commitment. To live a spiritual life, a conscious life, a God-given life, takes energy and commitment to do so. It doesn't just happen. So this morning I was thinking about that, and I said, you know what? I am calling all light bearers, all healers, all miracle workers, all metaphysicians, truth tellers, thought leaders, intention holders, possibility dwellers, manifestors, peacemakers, spiritual beings, and you. Yes, you. I'm calling you this morning. You see, those of you who want to live a better life, who want to seek higher ground and to live in a higher state of consciousness, I'm calling you. I'm calling those of you who want to have an overcoming spirit, who want to overcome any challenges or situations or circumstances. I'm calling you who can demonstrate the commitment like a Larry Davis for 11 years of study for a purpose, toward a goal, toward a vision that he was holding. I'm calling you who have a vision, who have a goal, and who are working towards that. I'm calling you. I'm calling you this morning to see that you can live and demonstrate spiritual principles, and not just the kind that enable you to garner a parking space whenever you need it. That's an inside joke, because usually when people first come upon the truth path and they start working these principles and they recognize, wow, I can speak this word and I can get a parking spot whenever I want to. That's wonderful. And it is true. It happens when you have that vision and you can focus. But I'm talking about something more than just demonstrating truth to garner a parking space. I'm talking about dedicating and living the truth so that the life that you are living is one that shines brightly and that is attached to a conscious evolution of manifesting God on earth, heaven on earth, goodness on earth. So it's not just the material things, but it's a consciousness that then enables you to live the kind of life you truly desire, and the kind of life that all of us have been called to. All of us have been called for such a time as this, for such a purpose as this. So that's why I was calling everybody I can think of, light bearers, healing agents, miracle workers, everybody, because there's a time for us to get on board. And let's face it, while we are still in the world, we're still in the world with all of its complexities, all of its stressors, all of its joys and sorrows and ups and downs. We are still in the world. And who does not want to be able to meet this thing that we call life with all of its stressors, complexities, joys, sorrows? Who doesn't want to meet it with the best and the highest that lies within us? We all want to meet life on a higher ground, right? On higher terms. We want to be able to do that. But that's going to take a certain level of consciousness. And so these last few Sundays, since coming back from my sabbatical, I've been feeling this guidance to offer certain types of messages and talks. I'm guided to speak and share for those who don't simply want an easy path, or don't simply want the 1, 2, 3 step formula for life, who are looking for, let me see, how do I get this, that, and the other, or who are seeking maybe a get-rich-quick scheme, because we speak often of prosperity and abundance. All of those things will come, but it is not that which we seek. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. And all of the things, all of the trappings, all of the blessings, they're going to be added unto you. So I'm speaking to those who are willing to seek this higher consciousness, to live from a different state of mind and a different state of being. The messages really that I'm sharing with you all this morning are for those who can sense the urgency of the times. These are urgent times we're living in, calling for deep and radical transformation. It is calling for the lifting up of the vibration into higher ground, truly. And so I'm speaking to those who can feel that, those who are ready to not only seek higher ground, but to live from a higher state of consciousness, to rise to this next level of living. Because that's what we're being called into. A new level of living, a new way of being, living masterfully, living consciously. That's what we are being called to do. Because you see, friends, it's only when you are awake and aware and conscious, when you are awake, aware, and conscious, that you are then able to really harness all of your innate God-given abilities and talents and skills, you see, and spiritual essence. When you are awake, you can utilize the God-given talents you have for a higher purpose. You'll be able to master them, but if you're asleep, you can't do that. So this is really important because there's another realm, there's another reality that is here and present right here, right now. And it's called the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven on earth, right here, right now. And what we're seeking is this kingdom of heaven. This kingdom of heaven is not a place. It is not a place, but a consciousness. It's an energy. And life is consciousness. And I am such a big believer in that I can always tell when my consciousness is off because my life begins to speak loudly. It begins to call me, and it tries to get my attention that something is amiss. So we're talking about learning how to perceive this other realm that is here. The old-fashioned teachers used to call it the ethers. It's the ethers, the presence, the substance, the field. Right now they call it the quantum field of life and creativity, the quantum field of God, all of that. The substance of God, this spiritual realm is here and it is now. And more importantly, this realm, this kingdom of heaven consciousness, Jesus as the Christ said that it was within you. It is with you and within you. That's the power, this whole ability to have this quantum field of creation. You can create, you can transform, you can heal, you can renew, you can restore, you can draw forth abundance and substance, you can set right relationships. Everything that you need for a powerful and conscious life, a successful life, lies right within you. You don't have to go seek it out here. It's within you. And even when we do things like go to school to study and to take these principles, they still have to work where? Within you. It's all happening within you. And so what happens is this realm is present, but we are usually too unconscious to perceive it. The substance of God, the answers you're seeking are right here. The good that you're desiring is right here, but we are too unconscious to perceive it very often. We are too unconscious to be able to harness the transformative energy or the overcoming power or the healing nature of God, of life, of divinity. And so we kind of miss it. We miss it because we're both in the world and of it. And you remember, Jesus as the Christ said, be ye in the world, but what? Not of it. And we have a tendency to be in it and of it. We get in it and of it. Because when you are of the kingdom of heaven consciousness, well then you are going to move through all the trials and the tribulations that the world offers, because it comes with joys, it comes with highs, it comes with all the wonderful, beautiful things, but it also comes with some trials and some tribulations and some challenges and some other stuff. But when you are of the kingdom of heaven consciousness, right? When you are of that, then you're able to move about in the world and through the world with a little bit more grace and ease. And you become attuned to this higher ground that Stevie Wonder was singing about, this higher ground that carries a more subtle vibration. See, the spiritual realm is here. The material realm is evident because we can see it and touch it and feel it. But the spiritual realm is equally just as real and present. But it a subtle vibration. The subtle vibrations or the quantum energy of life, of creation is here. But, and when we can tune into this subtle vibration, the subtle energies, right? Then that begins to guide and to direct our lives. Lean not unto your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. So as you begin to take your consciousness and place it on higher ground, all of a sudden your path looks a little different. You travel on the path in a different way. You walk about in the world on a different vibration, almost as if, you are gliding through things and you're commanding that things unfold for you in a certain way. But you've got to be able to recognize, friends, when you are asleep. Now, this is tricky. You've got to be able to recognize that you are asleep. Not so easy to do, right? Because usually when you sleep, you sleep. But we're going to have to be able to recognize when we are asleep. And when I say asleep, I'm talking about just not being conscious and present to the potentiality of spirit, to what is not seen with the visible eye, but also present, right? To be able to do that. So when we have to be able to recognize when we're off a little bit or when we're asleep, so we can come out of this lower vibration, of this lower consciousness, and begin to then choose to live in a higher fashion, live in a higher consciousness, to live in alignment with God, to live in alignment with the energies of spirit, so that we can, manifest more easily, heal more quickly, flow, with that power and grace of ease, and that we can move with the rhythm and the force of life and the energy, because life is happening right now. The God life, the God energy is present in its fullness right here and right now. And it is within you. It is all around you. Everything that you need, every guidance, every thought, everything that you are hoping for, your dreams, your visions, your goals, all the potential for that is right here within you and all around you. So here's some hints I want to share with you that might help you see and notice and recognize if you are asleep. Because we sleepwalk. We sleep live. Here's a big one that you can tell if you're asleep. And it's kind of generic, but we'll recognize it. And that is if you are suffering. If you are suffering in any way, and I'm not talking just simply about physical suffering, because we have those moments, but I'm talking about if you are suffering inwardly, internally, that you have a sense of turmoil happening, or that you're in conflict, either in conflict with your thoughts and feelings, in conflict with your friends, your partner, your family, in conflict with your desires, your dreams, in conflict with whomever, those whom your colleagues. If there's something that doesn't feel quite right, we suffer. We suffer, right? And when we're suffering, we know that we have no peace of mind, that the inward life that we are seeking to live is disturbed. My teacher used to say, I say this all the time, and you all know that. My teacher, Reverend Eric Butterworth, used to say, if you're disturbed, it's because you're disturbable. And I've always wanted to get to the place where I'm not disturbable. There's a phrase, an affirmation that says, nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. And your soul is your consciousness. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. That's where I want to get, where I'm rooted and grounded. Even though I'm rooted and grounded, I'm still seeking higher ground. I'm still elevating my vision and my hopes and my dreams. I'm still living a conscious life. And that's what I want. But when I fall asleep and I find myself suffering or at odds with people, places, things, concepts, and there's no peace in here, sometimes the Bible said we can be searching for peace and there is no peace. That's when you know that somehow you are asleep. You are asleep. Chances are. Because when you are awake, you see, and you don't suffer as much because higher answers come. Guidance comes. Direction comes. Things open. And yes, parking spaces appear when you need them. But even great healing can come. So when you are awake, then the Spirit of the living God that is within you begins to live in, move, and has its being in you, as we talked about earlier. And then all of a sudden, you begin to want to flow. This guidance that comes, the energy that comes, it begins to appeal to you, and you're willing to take the high road. You're willing to see this higher ground. You recognize this is a higher ground, a higher choice, a higher, calling, and you're willing to step into it. And when you do that, things begin to unfold in ways you cannot imagine. I'm telling you, I have set upon myself right now that I'm going to live consciously, and because there's so much happening, so much coming at me, that it could cause me to just say too much, going to sleep, pull the covers over my head. I cannot engage this thing called life. But I want to now. I've been studying these truth principles for I can't tell you how many years. I'll give you a hint. It's well over 50. And I feel that this time, before I leave this planet, I want to be awake. I want to be enlightened. I want to feel that I'm living consciously and masterfully. So here's another thing that can tell you if you're asleep. When you are awake, you don't resist what is. Now, I'm not talking about, you don't go around saying, this isn't here. Whatever it is, because life shows up as it shows up. It is what it is, right? But when you are awake, you don't spend too much time resisting, why did this happen to me? Why did they do this? How come they got this and I didn't get that? Or, spending your time looking out here, comparison and feeling a sense of lack or limitation or jealousy and wow, what happened? Or victimhood, look what they're doing and all that stuff. That's a sign that you are still asleep. When you are awake, you won't resist what is. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to take action. It doesn't mean that you're not going to move forward. You accept what is, but that acceptance is not the same as resignation. It's not, I just accept what is. Hit me one more time, and make it good this time. No. You don't resist that it has appeared, that it has shown up. You see it. You recognize it. But you don't resist it. And in the non-resisting of what is, you then have much more energy to address it, to handle it, to transform it, to meet it, to overcome it, to apply truth for it. You don't waste your time resisting that it is. That's a waste of time. It is. Now you just acknowledge it and you get about, how do I want to address this? What do I want to do about it? How do I want to handle this? How do I need to transform this situation? What do I need to do to bring it into alignment with myself? So we begin to notice when we're suffering inwardly and when we are resisting, regretting, resenting, all those things that something is, it's not going to help us. So we begin to let go of that. You can see it, but let that go. And then you make a commitment to resolve it. To resolve it. You see, and to resolve it is to resolve, to bring it back again around to what is it that is needed here, Spirit? What is the solution? What is the direction? What is the way out or the way into a new situation or a new circumstance or whatever? So you begin to work on that level, and you begin to do so through higher means making higher choices, reaching higher ground. Because if you stay stuck on the same level as that issue, you're never going to then evolve and progress. So it's going to take something, it's going to take you stepping up or situation out of the vibration, that low vibration, and coming up high. I need to be conscious. How can I approach this and heal this consciously? And so we begin to do that. You begin to notice when you're suffering. You begin to notice when you are resisting. And you begin to open up and saying, I'm seeking a higher path. I want a higher road. I need a higher direction. I need some higher ground to move me above and beyond the limitations of this situation and this circumstance. That's when you know you're starting to wake up. And here's another sign that you may be asleep. Say you have a goal or a dream or a vision that you would love to achieve and you would love to manifest, but you keep getting distracted. You keep getting distracted. Stuff seems to always get in the way and offer you excuses, opportunities to turn away, or to say it's too hard. You know, I'm thinking, Larry, you had 11 years. I bet you in that 11 years stuff came up that could have distracted you from your goal, from your vision, from your purpose. You could have said it's too expensive to go out to the village. You could have said, I can't take time off from work to go take 2 weeks out to study at a place. Or a number of things. We all have that. So you have a goal, you have a vision, you have a dream, but somehow you allow yourself to get distracted. Stuff seems to come up, and it gives you good reason. You know, it's good. It sounds good. Not having money to go take a course sounds really good. A good reason to stop, to give up the dream, to give up the vision. But when you are awake, all of a sudden, you begin to move into a rhythm or a flow of energy that moves you beyond any distractions or beyond any excuses. And that level of commitment takes hold, and you know that you are going to do this thing no matter what. And when you come with that kind of commitment and focus and desire, the universe will make a way. Something will happen that will give you that money to take that course or to do this thing. All of a sudden, when you say there will be no excuses for me not achieving my goal, my dream, my vision, that kind of commitment, the universe will make a way. There's a wonderful quote on commitment. I don't remember it exactly, but it says, the moment you commit, the moment one commits oneself, then providence moves, bringing forth all manner and issues of things that could not have heretofore been seen or known. All you need is that commitment and that energy to stay the course, to be on purpose, to walk your path. The distractions are here and there, but you're not looking at the wind and the waves. You're not listening to the people who say, the naysayers, or the people who want to get in and throw this one, throw that one. All of a sudden, you're not distracted by the little shiny objects that will take your attention away from your vision and from your goal and from your desires and from what your attention was. You see, this is what happens. When you are asleep, your mind, the mind hijacks your dreams. The mind hijacks your heart's desires, and it fills you with all these other things, excuses and whatever, opportunities to turn away from your intention. But when you are awake and you start getting into that rhythm and that flow, then the energy propels you past the distraction. The vision pulls you further on. That desire, the heart's desire, becomes stronger and stronger until you are moved to honor your commitment and to do the work. And you let go of anything that isn't related to your goals, your visions, and your dreams. And so when you find yourself not being able to keep them, you're asleep. You're asleep, and that's a cue that you might want to wake up. You don't have the energy that you're seeking. But when you are awake, the energy begins to move you towards the dream. The energy begins to move you towards your heart's desire, right? And so energy, when you are asleep, you have less energy. You would think that when you're asleep, you're gathering up energy. No, 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 no. When you're asleep, you have less energy to do what you need to do. When you are awake, you have more energy. It's the Spirit of God that is moving through you, and that energy then of God, of the divine, of Spirit, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, then begins to move in you. So when you are awake, there's less room to be exhausted and tired and all of these things. You have more energy. When you are asleep, then you are out of alignment. You're out of alignment with the higher good, and you begin to have all this suffering and distraction and resistance, which zaps your energy. When you are struggling and when you are in conflict and when things aren't working, you struggle to get things done. But when you are awake, the energy of the divine moves you in a way that you're just flowing. You're just flowing in the flow of life. So this flow of life. So the important thing that we should ask is, how do I stay awake? Because so much good happens when you are awake. But how do you stay awake? That's the whole thing. Well, here's the point I want to make. We should not be asking the question, how do I stay awake? Because awakening is a process. Spiritual enlightenment is a process. It is not some final destination that you reach when you think, okay, I'm awake now. I'm spiritually awakened. I'm done. There's no end point. Life is what? Evolving and changing and growing, and we are always with that evolution. So don't look to say, I'll be glad when I can awake, so therefore I can just, live life. No, you're in process. Awakening is a happening. Awakening is a process. And so when you make this choice to live consciously, it means that you have an opportunity at every moment to make a choice to live in that moment. And it doesn't mean that there are going to be moments when you're going to fall asleep, because we will have those moments. But we must be committed to the process. We must be committed to seeing, to recognizing that we are perhaps asleep. Because it's that awareness of recognizing when you are asleep that wakes you up. You get that? Yeah, when you recognize that, I might be asleep here, you start to have the awareness you are waking up. You are in process. You are waking. So here's the thing. You want to start noticing when you're struggling and suffering. And again, not physical suffering, this internal, when the mind is overactive and the mind is churning, and you're looking for peace, you're looking for answers, you're looking for guidance, you don't know what to do, you're overcome. That is a point that lets you know that you may be asleep. You want to look at the places where you're having a challenge. You want to look at the places in you where you're feeling you're reactive as opposed to responding and choosing, where you are resisting and you're triggered and you're charged and you're resenting. All of those things are signals and signs for you that something is amiss within you, within your perceptions, within your feelings, within your emotions. And it's going to require your conscious attention. When we get the signal, that's the clue that something is requiring our conscious attention. Now, here's a crucial point that I want you to recognize. When we begin to get the signal that something is off, right? I don't want you to fall into the trap of justifying, blaming, fault-finding, othering, all of which is simply going to keep you asleep. And we could do that. We could find things. Right? But when you notice something is amiss within your own being, don't look for the reasons why out here. The key to live consciously is to making this choice to see and to always choose to take the high road. I was thinking, I said, we always have a subtle choice. You could have a choice where someone does you wrong, and you could say, I need to get them straight. That's one way, but that thought carries an energy, as opposed to, I need to express myself clearly. I need to share what I'm feeling and thinking about this situation. Totally different vibration, right? then I need to get them straight. No, I need to share what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. The vibration is totally different between the two choices. This is what we have. We always have a choice. When you think that I need to do this and it carries an energy that has an edge or whatever, it's not going to serve you well. But you can get done what you need to get done. But when you choose a higher road, the higher way to accomplish that, then that vibration has a different energy, and the people will meet it with a different they'll be able to receive it and hear it, right? If I come to you and say, oh, you know what? No, I'm going to get you straight. Well, and they're going to be like, oh, really? And then it's on, right? As opposed to, hey, this is what I'm feeling in my heart. This is what I want to share. This is what I'm needing at this moment. Soft can be received. And even if it's not received, your spirit is clean. Your consciousness then isn't clouded, and you move about the world, from a place of spiritual power. I don't want to make a point. I want to speak my spiritual power. There's a difference. There's a difference. So what happens, what we're doing was we begin to live consciously, we make higher choices. We choose the higher road, the higher way, right? And we choose the way of peace, of love, of healing. And even when it doesn't feel good at the beginning, but we seek to choose that way. And it might not always feel good at the beginning until you get used to choosing this way. Because if you're conditioned, you're like, well, no, if I keep choosing the higher way, they're just going to take advantage of me. If I keep coming from this place of love, they're just going to walk all over me. No. You are working with the universal energy of God. Spiritual, powerful principles that we never lose when we use them. So we let go and begin to practice this higher way, this conscious living. We make higher choices. And when you do it, even when you don't feel like you want it, and last week we talked about the issues of the heart and making sure that we're able to love our enemies and the power that comes in that. But when you start choosing to live from your center way to live, a higher consciousness, all of a sudden, the automatic response that you will have will be one of peace. But it's going to take a little practice because we've been living and thinking and moving in a certain vibration. But as we begin to say, I'm going to choose this higher way, it begins to all of a sudden, we're wired, because we're wired for God. We are wired for good. But when we begin to retrain ourselves to think about God, to make the higher choice, and we do it over and over and consistently, all of a sudden the pathway to your good becomes so easy. The pathway to your blessings and your desire, it's like a whole new world opens up because you're traveling on a different way. There's been said that when we are born, that we are attached to a silver cord. Has anybody heard that? You know what the silver cord, that when you are born, we are attached to a silver cord, like the baby is attached to its mother's umbilical, right? Cord for life and substance and sustenance until it's able to move on its own. And we likewise, when we come into this manifest world, we are attached to the divine, attached to God through this silver cord. And when we then allow ourselves to, and this is what connects, while we're in the body, we're still connected to spirit through this silver cord. And this silver cord becomes our connection, our lifeline to spirit, right? And then, of course, at the moment we experience death, it's said that the silver cord is cut and separated, and we're not needed in the physical being, and then we merge back into the light. But while we are in the physical body, there is this pathway to the divine, this cord. And every thought we think, when we begin to think good thoughts, God thoughts, when we choose to tap into this spiritual lifeline, we have a spiritual lifeline that we can tap into consciously at any time. And the substance we need and the sustenance we need to live, like that umbilical cord, we're fed everything that we need to live a successful life. So when we choose to tap into the spiritual lifeline, we are strengthened in our life, and we're able then to live what they call a golden life. When you allow yourself to tune into God thoughts, God energy, divine energy, you begin to live a golden life. Now, here's a metaphysical perspective. It's a metaphor. I should say it's a metaphorical perspective. But I think it's a powerful one, and this is what Spirit gave me. That when we enter into the physical world, we are, even though we're spiritual beings, we say we're spiritual beings having what? A human experience. But when we enter into this physical world, we are attached to God by the silver cord. That's our lifeline. But as we enter in, we are also given a golden thread. So we are attached by a silver cord that is our lifeline, and we are then given a golden thread by which to weave our lives. And this golden thread, of course, contains all the beauty and the goodness of God that we can use to weave what? A good life, a golden life, a God life. But you can take this golden thread and weave whatever you want. All of your thoughts, your feelings, your attitudes, your perceptions, you can use the weave, the golden weave, to weave a life that you want to live or a life that you are living. And this is what we should understand. We want to live our lives. If you want to live your life like it's golden, you must take the golden thread of life and weave these principles, the teachings, the action of goodness. You weave that into your life, but you are free to take this golden thread and weave whatever you want to weave. You can weave negativity, you can weave whatever you want. But then when you have the tapestry of your life and you look back on your life and the tapestry of your life is not what you would wanted, recognize you used your golden thread to weave the life you have. And so as I am maturing, I realize I want the tapestry of my life to look a certain way. And when it comes time, the end of my days, I want to be able to say that I've woven a rich life. I took my golden thread and I took all the pieces of my thoughts and feelings and perceptions and my attitude and my energy, and I used it for good. I created something good in my life. That's what I'm working for. There's in the business world, there's what they call the golden thread concept, but I think it works spiritually as well. It's called the golden thread theory. And this is what it says. The golden thread, also known as organizational alignment, is a simple framework to explain how an organization links what it does to its goals. It ensures that an organization's goals, visions, and values inform and are informed by its processes, systems, and people. The alignment throughout each layer of the business leads to a shared understanding of the organization's vision. Knitting a golden thread through strategies and operations is crucial if employees are to buy in to the organizational strategy and its shared purpose. I love that. This golden thread, what they're saying, needs to be woven into your strategies, your vision, the people, everything, so that the organization or the organism is knitted together by that common thread, by the vision, by the goals, and so that everything then begins to move and work towards what? The goal, the vision. And it's knitted together in a tight formation with the golden thread theory. The organization then begins to process. Well, it's the same way with us. All of your thoughts, all of your experiences, you're knitting them together so that your life begins to feel like a golden tapestry. That you're living your best life now, and that you're in alignment. You see, we have goals, visions, desires, or whatever, but they may not be in alignment with our thoughts, our feelings, and our attitudes. And what happens when your thoughts and feelings are not in alignment with your goals and visions, you get nothing. Bringing it all together. Your thoughts, your feelings, your perceptions, visions and desires, and vice versa. So that now it's an organism, it's a whole system that is designed you the desires of your heart so that you can match the life you want to live. And so this is the time, friends, to be so committed to live your life consciously, to take the precious gift, the golden thread, teach perception of God, of good, leave it into the life you live. So that at the end of the days and during your days, you can say, I'm living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden. And I'm experiencing heaven upon this earth. Right here and right now. So, beloved ones, it's time to wake up and to get to weaving. Wake up and start weaving so that you can live the life you want to live. Let's do conscious living. Blessings to you. I love you all, and you all are a thread in my life. I'm going to weave you into my heart and name it all good. Namaste. Blessings. And now, I guess we're going to move into our wonderful, okay. Let's have a time of meditation. Is that what we're doing? Meditation? I have no idea. I'm just present, honey. I'm just here. Oh, we're going to do meditation. And that's good. And then after meditation, I think we'll have some musical inspiration by our wonderful choir and Richard Payne. But let's just take a moment. There's a song that we used to sing, and it said, weave, weave, weave us together. Weave us together in unity and truth. So I'm going to invite you now to allow yourself to come into that sacred space where only you and the divine meet, the holy presence, the holy ground that you are standing within. Breathe deeply in this sacred place so that you might listen to the divine threads that Spirit is giving you. It's saying, walk here in this way. Walk ye on this path. Choose this higher ground. Take this step. Live this way. For it is the way of spirit. And you can never lose your way. When you seek the guidance from within, so listen. Hear and feel Spirit's presence as it is whispering in your soul. Beloved, take this thread of my presence and weave it into love. Take this thread of divine purpose and weave it into creativity. For everything that is needed, I have provided. So just listen in your heart for Spirit's guidance. Peace. the stillness of my heart, in this kingdom of heaven consciousness, I share my light and my love, for it is the light and love of God, moving in and through and as me now, moving into every situation, every circumstance, every condition of my life and affairs, for everything is in alignment. And I am grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Just take a deep, deep breath. And so it is. Amen and amen. And now, let us enjoy special music. It's our wonderful choir singing, "The Lord is Blessing Me." Lord is blessing me and you right now. No delay. Your blessings are ever present. Awake and receive them. Grateful, grateful, and thankful for this day. And thank you to all those who are here to help make this a beautiful day. I thank our AV team always for making sure that we have something in some way to be able to connect and share with you each Sunday morning. I thank everyone who comes and shows up in the right heart, the right mind, the right consciousness, and the right spirit. And I hope you all feel it and receive it. Our affirmation for this week is very simple. It says, I'm living my life like it's golden. I am living on point and on purpose. Praise the good, and so it is. Amen. I am living my life like it's golden. I'm living on point and on purpose. Praise the good, and so it is. Amen. Beloved ones, we're so grateful for your presence, and I want to take this time to thank you for your generosity of spirit. For everything that you give truly enables us to be a beacon of light, a place, a way station, and a sanctuary for those who are seeking hope in this new life and a better way to live and be. Your generosity and your gifts, your talents, your treasure that you share with this ministry enable us to bless and touch so many lives. And I'm grateful that you remember us, especially during this time where you must make that extra effort and you can share as you often do with such spirit of heart. I'm just grateful. So just know our offering prayer is thus. It says, it is divine love through me that bless and multiply all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Let us affirm that in your heart of hearts and know that we are truly grateful that you remember us in your giving and in your sharing and in your being. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now let us come together as we sing our closing prayer for protection. You light up my life.